So, good morning. Good morning, ladies. All my sisters. How are you this morning? I'm Asata X, and I'm here this morning. My second video. Hi, congratulations to me. I'm in the kitchen and I'm about to make some coffee, some breakfast. I'm not going to put you all through all of that. You'll feel like you're working yourself. But I was just thinking, I hope that the sound is okay. I'm going to work on my mics. I'm new at all of this, so I want to make sure you get the right sound. So I'm back, and I said that we talk about traveling and how I travel on a budget, right? Maybe if I turn this out the light, you'll see me a little better. So, yeah, where I am is a very nice 3-bedroom apartment, and it is inside of a compound, a family compound, and they have all these extra apartments here, and I've rented one now, and it's affordable. We're going to get back to that at a later date. But how did I get started? It's really not that complicated to me because I've been at it since a long time, 2009. Well, I don't know if have you ever heard of a app? There's this app, and I don't know if I should give the name to it. I don't want to. Um, I don't want to give it free advertising, but there's an app I found back in 2009 while I was still living up in Maine. Yeah, USA, Maine. I had moved from Detroit, moved up to Maine. And while I was there, actually, I got there in 2002. And while I was there, I came to see that a lot of my acquaintances, they were doing traveling and they were going places. They never shared with me, where they were going or how they were doing it. And so it was by accident I happened to find it. I happened to find this app, and it's a social app. And through this app, I was able to sign in, become a member, and I start communicating with local people around me there in Maine and people all around the world. Africa, Canada, Asia, you know? And it was just really interesting. I was like, wow, okay, so what's this game all about? And the app allowed you to make friends, or you may want to use the word friend. I'll say friends because that's what the app was all about, was making friends. You determine how much of a friend you're going to make. And so that's how I actually got started traveling. First, I did it locally, right there in Maine. I was living in Bangor, and I would go to places like Portland, Maine, and stay a few days. I hadn't been up there in that area. I just wanted to see what it was like. And so this app allows you to get in touch with people. Say you're moving this direction, moving that direction, and at the same time, people would request to come and stay in my place. No problem. Not always the same person that I stayed with in another place, but it would be other people. It depends on, everybody travels at a certain time and you make yourself available. I consider myself an old hippie, a flower child, an old hippie, so I didn't have a problem with it. You're probably thinking, what? You staying in strangers' homes? Well, you know what? You got to get rid of that mindset, because if you want to travel on a shoestring, I'm telling you how to do it. And that's how I began. back in 2000. Actually, it was about like 2004, 2005. Okay, and it was a lot of fun. You know, I'm not afraid to meet people. I'm not afraid to stay with strangers, and so they provided accommodations for you. And there was a minimum period of, say, 3 days, or, if the person liked you and if you were kind, maybe you could stay a week. And, the length of time went on and on. So that's how I got started. And it was a good beginning because it's like learning how to tie your shoes. Like, what are all these people about? I didn't know anything about these people. They didn't know anything about me other than talking through the app. And uh, the app was fairly new, so everybody wanted to try it out. And so we were trying it out and we were going places. And this app ended up taking me across the world. Yeah. Now, with that said, even though I was using the app and I was going different places, you always have money in your pocket because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if, well, maybe I don't like being in this house. Maybe you find out that they're smokers and you don't want to be around smoke. And so, you find there's different apps there in the computer, and you find a nice, affordable place to stay. And you still, seek out the area, the new area to you, and see what it's all about. And so after a while, you become familiar with how to master the social apps and how to use them. Keep money in your pocket. I mean, there's hostels that and hotels that and really nice, especially once you get outside of the United States. When I was in Romania, um, I had met a young lady in Montreal, and she was a Romanian, and she begged me to come and stay with her, and so I did. That was a wonderful relationship, um, and me being older, I educated her to things that she wasn't quite familiar with, right? Um, and so and so that relationship there in Montreal, she begged me that once I started traveling, to please stop in Romania and visit her. And so eventually that's what I did. I said, "Oh, okay," I promised her I would go to um, Romania to visit her. And that's what I did. I had stopped over in Africa. I was there in Nigeria for a while, and then I ended up flying over to Romania. And like I said, no matter how well you know somebody, it could be your next door neighbor, it could be the friends you went to school with in grade school. You don't know a person until you actually stay with that person. You don't know if they're hiding mental problems or what's going on. And so you take a little extra money and you find your way out of a situation. And so you find your way out of a situation and continue to enjoy yourself. Just because you may have gotten into a fragile situation that you don't want to be part of doesn't mean that you can't dig in your pocket and still enjoy yourself. You've got your round trip ticket. Now social media is not paying for your round trip ticket. You got to pay for that yourself. And so, that's how it began. That's how it began. It began with this social app. And I ended up mastering the app. I even became an ambassador on the app. And I traveled. And so now you know how I got started. And I'm not going to talk too long because I want to go to breakfast. And I think it would probably be rude if I tried to start fixing food and talking to you at the same time. So anyway, so there's number one, and I'm going to make a list. I haven't made the list yet because it's all in my head, but I better write it down. And so that's how I got started with my traveling. And then I'm going to have to backtrack too because I want to tell you about how I even got to start looking into this app. It actually started in a bus ride. I was taking a bus from Boston back to Maine, and a young lady sat next to me on the bus, and we got to talking. It's always nice to talk to people. And we got to talking, and she was telling me about this fantastic opportunity she had in a different app that I had never heard of. And it was through her wonderful story. She was a great storyteller, and she had experienced all these things. And she was in tears half the time she was talking to me because she wanted to go back to where she had been. It was someplace in the Netherlands, I think. And she said she had never experienced anything like that. She really had a nice time, and she looked forward to going back. And I was like, wow, this lady sitting next to me on a bus from Boston to Maine told me this fantastic story about this app, which is not the app I end up joining. And I'll tell you about that too, because I wanted to check out things. But her app was an app where you committed yourself to working at your location. And she was, I said she was a young lady, but she was older than me. And she did little things like babysitting, sewing, knitting, washing dishes, taking care of the house, while everybody else was out there in the field working. And she said it was such a simple and easy job. And she got to be there for free. She worked and she helped around the house, did things like that. So you see, you can start traveling, and if it's not you, hey, like they say, don't come at me, okay? Because it's me. And that's how I got going. That's why I'm in East Africa right now. Because I've been traveling for years and years now. Not all after a while, you even find your own path to travel, and you don't really need apps, or you don't have to follow apps. But it's always nice because I can get on the app I'm speaking of, and I can say, hey, I'm coming to Vietnam. I've got my place already, but let's meet up for lunch, okay? And let them tell you all about the territory. So, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I know this was a short talk, and we'll find some more good talks. Thank you for being there. Please don't forget to press the like button, and most of all, please just send me a little note. Ask me some questions, because that's going to keep me involved in giving you what you want, because you know the questions you want to ask me. And I want those questions. I want to see those questions so that I can respond to you. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you so very much. I wish you a wonderful day. It's my morning, and it's probably your night. So good night, good morning, good afternoon to whoever is watching this. Love you, sisters. Bye for now.